Well. Welcome to day 4 of the boards vlog series. I have yet to name it properly, but as you can see, these are integrals. I don't think you can see that, but these are integrals, special integrals, trig substituted integrals, and above there it's the domain and range for inverse trigonometric functions, which means today was my math paper. Okay, this again will probably be a bit long, so get yourself some popcorns or your favorite snack. I don't know what you like to eat. You should probably eat something healthy, though, something like milk, unless you're lactose intolerant. But okay, whatever. This will probably be a bit longer, so get yourself something, okay? And get comfortable. Maybe download this or something like that so that you can listen to it later or whatever. Because I like to do that. I like to download my videos. Like, for example, I was watching, like video of Tom Scott. You know Tom Scott? Cool guy. Tom Scott with James Hoffman about coffee. And I downloaded that video. That I think that gives you more freedom on what you actually want to watch instead of just scrolling through a lot of videos. Like a lot of videos. Either way. Do whatever you want. It's your choice. And okay, just let's get to the point, I guess. Math paper. How was it? Uh it's hard to say really. With math it's different. You cannot really understand, like, it can feel like it went really good, but when you get the paper you get like 40 out of 80. That has happened to me. So, yeah, something like that. But I don't think this was the case this time. So I think it was okay, good. I did what I could. I did my best. That's all that I want to say. Paper quality, it was easy. Paper was easy, but very long. It was very long, took too much time. So I don't know. All right. So great. My relationship with math is something different. Okay. The reason why I cannot express everything in terms of quantity, like quality or quantity, I don't know, in terms of quality, okay, quality is because I don't know it myself. There's something, I love math. Okay, a lot of people know that I love math, and I have developed an identity from math. I tell everyone that math is my forte, that's my special thingy. But the thing is, loving something doesn't mean that you're good at it. It doesn't translate to that. I realized that that was the case with me. Even though I loved math, and I still do love math, I was not really good at it compared to other things. Okay. But, regardless, that does give you a lot of problems, especially when you're, associated with it in terms of an identity level. Certainly that makes you feel like a fraud. Okay, it makes you feel like, uh, who are you, right? Like, you're supposed to be good at math, but you're still sucking at math, right? At math. So the thing is, if you're bad at it, work on it. If you're bad at it, work on it, especially if you love it. Okay, that's the case with math. The day before yesterday, I was about to give up, literally give up on my dreams of becoming a mathematician, so on, just because I wasn't getting the right marks and stuff like that. That's not how it works. The only way from that, out of that, and like, there are two ways, right? There are two ways. Hi. Yeah, there are two ways. Either you accept it, give up, accept defeat, give up, run away. Or you accept it, don't give up, instead choose to get better. Of course, it's easy to give up. You don't have to spend too much brain cells, don't have to worry about shame, about, future results. If you just give up, you can just say, okay, I just gave up. It's all right. It's okay. I got sorry, not 70, I got 50%. Doesn't matter because I gave up. That's what you get out of giving up. You completely remove the, like feeling of shame, feeling of guilt from out of the equation. You don't have to feel anything if you just give up. That's the easy part. The hard part is actually putting in the work and trying to work, trying to get better, studying or improving your skills. Even it's not math, like it can apply to other things, right? So but that's the hard part, but that's the only thing that can make you a better person. Not giving up, certainly. So that was the thing. Well, day before yesterday, about to give up, I got scolded by my mom. I got, like, it hurt actually. It hurt that I should not have been feeling like that. But it's natural, at moments like that when you're extremely frustrated, it's natural to feel self doubt. And as I say a lot of times to people, that self doubt is crucial. It shows you that you need to work on it. Okay. Like, yeah, either you need to work on it or give up. I choose the former, right? You work on it and get better. So that's what I chose. The next day, yesterday, I did math a lot. Instead of giving up, I did a lot of math, a lot of integrals. That's my weakest part as of now. And I'm thinking I'm getting stronger at it with time. So I worked on integrals. I could solve them. I recognized the patterns. I learned to solve it, so on. So yesterday was much better. I did not feel the need to just sleep and die. Right. That's what you get when you work and when you put in the work. You yourself see that you're getting results and that you should keep on going. It creates momentum for itself. So it generates momentum for itself. That's pretty cool, I think. So definitely. But the thing is, it's hard, right, to sustain that, because giving up is easy, as I've said. And like things like putting up quotes on the wall, just like I have right now. I have like many quotes here, like stuff like, don't stop when you're tired, stop when you're done. Absolutely true, nothing wrong with that. But by putting up the quotes, I am like, delegating some parts of my action to them. It's like I'm saying that just because it's like saying that, hey, I have that quote on my wall. That must mean that I do that thing, that must mean that I am that person. Not really. Not really. Oftentimes it does help to keep the thing in front. But as for my case, it's like, thinking that, okay, because I have it, it must be like that, I'm aware of it, I'm a better person. No. Unless you internalize it and start living those quotes, living those lessons, it's nothing, bro. It's just pretending. It's just acting. Quite, like quite the same with me as of this point. It's like I have this quote. Okay, this is an opportunity to callous your mind. Callous as in like harden your mind. I have that quote in my wall. Yet, the day before yesterday, I felt like giving up. I felt like giving up. So that did not work unless I internalize it. I have to live these quotes. I have to, internalize that the fact that this is an opportunity to callous my mind, that I should not stop when I'm tired. The moment you do it, kaboom, you're ruling the world, baby. So it's like that. You need to live it. That's what I realized, that, just like, yeah. So I'm gonna work on that myself, trying not to put up quotes, but live it. It's okay. In philosophical terms, it's called virtue ethics. Okay, virtue ethics. You're analyzing morality not by the action or the consequences of that action, but by the virtues the action carries. Right? So those are quite a few things you can. I should probably link. I've wrote about this before, so I'll link my blog on this topic about morality, how to define right and wrong in 3 different ways. So I've written that. I'll probably link it down the description, so please check that out. So yeah, it's virtue ethics. You are internalizing certain virtue, and you do your work through them, right? You do everything that has those kind of virtues. I think that's the way to live. That's, I'll get to that, but I was watching this interview by Slavoj Žižek, yeah, Slavoj Žižek, and that's his productivity advice. It's not really productivity advice, but it's just the fact that, there is no trick. You just have to live it, I guess. I guess something like that. But that's more my advice than Zizek. I don't know why I said that Zizek. I don't even remember what Zizek said. It's hard to pronounce his name. Either way, that's the thingy. But okay, say you don't give up. You started working. You started getting better and stuff like that. Just like I got better at math. With time. Like after yesterday, I made quite some progress. Great, but you can study for 12 hours one day. Next day you're dead. That's not how it's gonna cut, bro. That happened to me though when like quite a few, I think 3 days before my chemistry exam. One day I was like, I'm gonna rule the world. I did. The next day I was like on the streets, right? That's not gonna work. On the streets as in like I could not do anything. Okay, both of the extremes are bad. You need to achieve that compound interest of sustained, long-term, deep, focused sessions. That's what's going to make the difference. Consistency is what makes the difference. So, next time, like in my next grind, for example, in my JEE grind or something like that, CMI grind, of course, I'll do that instead of trying to pull, like 12 hours a day one day and slumping out the next. I'll try to focus on not burning out. Okay, not burning out by taking breaks, using Pomodoro techniques. You know that drill, like taking breaks, talking to people, make it fun, right? Stuff like that. But what's interesting about this is that when you take breaks, when you say that, hey, I need a break, man, else I'm gonna burn out, that's also a form of limiting yourself. So I think there should be a balance. Okay? So it should be a balance between what's the burnout point and where you're limiting yourself. It's like, 12th grader physicists, 12th graders who have physics, they know that there's a energy band gap between the valence band and the conduction band of a semiconductor. Okay. Or an insulator, whatever. So this gap is the thingy. After, or in pure layman terms, I should say, there are two energy levels. Okay. After this below this one, you're just limiting yourself. But if you're here, if you go above that, then you're getting burned out. So you just want to be in this thingy, like where you're not even, where you're challenging yourself, but not quite as much. That needs a lot of experimentation. I mean, trust me, I've been in the, like it's not much. 2 years is not much, but in 2 years, I haven't been able to achieve this, this appropriate spot of pushing myself, also not pushing myself, like that thingy. But that's, if you achieve that, if you get that balance between not burning out, giving yourself enough rest, retrieval, and having fun, also pushing yourself out of your comfort zone, kaboom, like you're gonna become, like, I guess, I don't know, hero, There's this quote by Optimus Prime. Hi there, Transformers, kiddos, Transformers. Lovers, I guess. I don't know, Transformers, lovers. I guess lovers might be Transformers, but fine. Transformers, lovers. Okay. There's a thin line between becoming a hero and becoming a memory. That's what Optimus Prime says. There's a thin line between becoming a hero and becoming a memory. You want to be a hero, but if you just crash and die, you're gonna become a memory, bro. Okay, you're just gonna become a memory. People are just gonna remember you and just feel pity for you, like feel that, that was a guy. Sure, good guy, good guy. Let's move on, something like that. Becoming a hero takes more than that, but it's just a line. Okay, it's the division is line. Below that, memory, hero. Takes time to understand, takes time. It's easy for me to say it than putting in the work and working it myself. So I'll try not to just say this to you and actually do this myself, okay? If I guess, I don't know. I've like left streaming part because I feel like streaming is cumbersome to me now, especially at this point. Like the problem with me is like I try to perfect things a lot. I try to, like look for the best camera angle. Like utilize all my things. I don't have a camera. This is my phone. That's what I use for filming these. And I try to, find the best lighting condition, the appropriate thingy, shading, filters, etc., etc. It takes time. Time that I can better put to solving math or, getting better at physics. Something that I can use to get better skills. I'm not saying that creating videos is bad. I absolutely love making videos and I will make a lot of videos in the future. But at this point, I think the best thing I can do is focus on my studies. So that's why I'm not been making my streams, like streaming and making like higher quality videos. I should say these are just yaps, right? So, okay. And by the way, the weather is kind of crazy here. It's like hot, but not so hot. Cold, but not so cold. Basically, you're stuck in this place of limbo, right? Limbo. So, I don't like it. I don't like it. And okay, great. Technological changes that happened to me. Oh, by the way, I should talk about my preparation, like how I prepped for math. I just solved problems. For every chapter, I solved problems. And if something went wrong, I noted it down. And that's probably the thingy, like this thing you see, this is filled, of course. This is filled. This is where I put all my notes, like not notes, but problem solving algorithms. Okay, say for example, you want to solve, like quadratic equation. How do you solve a quadratic equation? It's important to remember that. I realized that quite lately that you have to remember things in math. It's not like you can get away by just numbers. No. You have to remember things. You have to remember patterns, especially in calculus. For example, you're solving integrals, then you need to remember patterns. Like what patterns, what should I recognize in this while solving this integral, like what should I look for? How should I remember? Or should I substitute x or should I substitute x squared? You're supposed to know those things. You're supposed to remember those things. I should probably show you. I made this kind of paper, little sheets, something like that. I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, it's pretty white. I'm sorry about that. So yeah, I can see sheets, something like that. So you gotta note them down. Okay, you solve problems, you see where it went wrong, you note where it went wrong and the way you solve it. Okay, solve a type of problem, because hey, it's like oftentimes it's like quite few types of problems just in different settings, right? So the more problems you encounter yourself to, expose yourself to, the more you'll be able to solve math. Like that's that's quite things. That's, for example, say I did not know how to solve, I did not know how to find the mod inverse of 7 to modulo 11. I know, or maybe you will understand this, maybe you'll not, but that's a question that I do not know how to solve. So okay, I don't know how to solve it, right? But if I had solved it before or something like it before, I can probably extrapolate it, right? I can probably understand, okay, I should use this in this. That's 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 pretty simple, but that's the only way to get better at math. Solving, noting them down, and remembering them. That's yeah. So I guess that's what I did. I solved questions, noted down, noted the things that went wrong, algorithms to solve. Not for everything, the things that I already remember. Sure, it's no point of again writing them down, but it's useful if you're doing it for the first time. Like okay, this is. I'll give you a teaser. Okay, if you're a 12th grader and if you're new to 12th grader, the thing that I advise you is that solve a full syllabus paper. Okay, solve a full syllabus paper without knowing anything. You don't have to know anything. You don't have to solve anything. Okay, that's not the objective. The objective is to expose you towards what you will be learning in the whole syllabus. Okay, whole thingy. You can apply it to any standard. If you're in class 11th, do that. If you're in class 10th, do that. That's probably going to help anyone. Okay, anyone. That's what I would advise at least the 12th graders to, because 12th grade is something different. I'm going to write about that. I've started, not yet, but I will soon start writing about it after my boards ends. So I have quite a few things to tell, as well as my friends who are very much excited to, give their unsolicited advice. Man, I give a lot of unsolicited advice to people, man. As I don't know if people like it or not. It's like crazy shit. I should work on it. I should stop that, and I should listen more. Instead of yeah, yapping. Okay, great. Technological changes that happened this week. First thing, context of that. Why technological changes? Because I realized that misery is a byproduct of using technology badly. And badly, I mean like not in a mindful sense. Okay. Ideally, you should be mindful of how you use technology, how you use internet. You don't want to be spreading yourself all across the web, right? You don't want to be a slave to your devices. You don't want to be a slave to your phone, to Instagram, or anything, right? When you start separating yourself from that, when you start distancing yourself from that, that's when you become this Zen monk, okay? Like a version of it at least. But that's the ideal case. It's not really practical, right? It's not really practical, at least in 2026. You have tons of things that you need the internet for. For example, watching this video, or for me to just make this and post this video somewhere, I need internet, right? It's about how you use it. Okay, it's about how you restrict yourself. It's about how you create boundaries with your devices, with the tools you have to be more sane. It's sanity you're seeking, and but I think it's a very important thing to do at this point, because a lot of people are getting distracted, even myself, from these pieces of technology. I have written about this, but I'll just give you a TLDR that separate your devices, right? That is very helpful. A phone becomes only a phone. A phone should not be a internet browser, should not be a camera, should not be everything. Should not be Instagram. A phone should be just a phone, right? A camera should be just a camera. A laptop should be just a laptop for you to do work, not everything. It's very hard to separate this, very hard to actually do that. But if you can, very nice. If you can, very nice. I'm really privileged. I should say I'm really, really privileged to have this kind of distinction, like at least to a sense. For example, I kept this laptop where it's recording. My camera is recording, but it's like connected to my laptop. So laptops is where it's recording. Technology, yeah, right. So I kept this laptop offline, no Wi-Fi, airplane mode, and I need my music while studying. So I just kept it on back there. Okay, back there. I don't think you can see it, but there, somewhere there, out of my table, out of my reach. Okay, just so I can play music on my speaker above. Okay, above there's a speaker. It's connected to Bluetooth. So Bluetooth is here in this laptop. So from laptop goes their music, right? So I'm really glad to be able to do this kind of things. Okay, it's not for everyone. Not everyone has that privilege. Not everyone is lucky like that. But if you can, it's very helpful to remove this kind of like use cases. Make it very specific, basically. Make it very, very specific. For example, I only use this laptop for work-related stuff, for writing, say, key points of this video. Like I'm seeing it here. Okay, I've written some key points. That's one case. For writing, sure. For making this video, that's not really work, but it's the probably the powerful device that I have, which I can use to make this video. So that's an exception. Again, you have to be mindful of the exceptions as well, so that you're not like, okay, I'm like using this for this, so I can use it for binging movies as well. No, I have a separate laptop. I've shown that in the last video. 10-year-old, 12-year-old laptop, which I use to watch videos and stuff like that. Lectures, G6 lectures and stuff like that. I'll get to that part. So, great. Very nice. And I only used books. When you start removing yourself from digital media specifically, when you start limiting those medias and shift to a more text-based, text-heavy form, immediately you start seeing, raises in your IQ level. Immediately you see that I'm getting smart, right? Like when you replace, say, movies, TV show, comic books, and like podcast, everything, this video, replace it with books. Okay, it can be an ebook or a book, whatever, just books, text. Okay, people's blogs, not really, but essays, right? Something like that. You immediately start getting smarter. Of course, not at all practical. You can do it, sure. You can try doing it. You can consume most of the things in text, consume most of the things in book form, but still, I think you're okay with, say, 20% of other medias, right? You need to watch videos. I mean, it's 2026. I mean, if you're not going to watch my videos, how am I going to get views, right? So you got to support creators like me and subscribe to this channel and share this video, I'm a good good plug-in time, right? So if you're doing it's like you gotta be mindful again, but create really, absolutely, books, text is king, okay, or queen, just say monarch, okay, is monarch. Great. Absolutely on the top of the food chain. Not food chain, intelligent chain. So how is that related to what I wanted to say? Yeah, either way. Yeah, some music recommendations that I listen to. Okay, the thing is, I love all kinds of music. Absolutely, I love metal. I play metal. Okay, I play metal and I play hard rock, alternative rock, grunge. But when I am doing math or say something like that, I don't want to listen to metal because metal is too fast to, makes your heart pump, it makes you groove and do that quite a lot. You don't want that. You don't want to get distracted or emotionally invested into the music. Instead, you want something that, sure, grips you, but gives you a bit of rhythm, give you a bit of pacing to work with, right? I think that's where London jazz fusion, contemporary jazz, modern jazz, whatever you want to say, basically stuff that has groove jazz, but also not high distortion levels and like warm tones, something like that. Afro beats is another example. Afro beats. So love that. Some artists here. Yusuf Days, whatever. I don't know how to pronounce. I'm sorry. Ruby Rushton, Jazz Boys, and I should probably Go Go Penguin. That's a funny name, but they make really good music. Go Go Penguin, Mammal Hands, and um, Robo Hands. Yeah, got a few hands. Mammal Hands, Robo Hands, different artists. Okay, and yeah, I think that's what I listened to like on repeat this past couple of days, and I think awesome, amazing, wow, cool stuff. Especially music of Yusuf Dayes. Oh, and yes, Yusuf Kamal. That's like a collaboration project between Yusuf Dayes and Kamal Williams. So Kamal Williams is another artist in the same genre, same scene. So you can surely check them out if you're into jazz. My friend Jonak is not. If you recommend jazz to him, he'll probably kick you in weird places. So we don't recommend listening anything to anyone. It's not for everyone. The same way that metal is not for everyone, or say, I don't know, Assamese music is not for everyone, for example. Now, I think the most important part of this video, talking about Zizek. Okay, Zizek. You know, Slavoj Žižek is a philosopher. He's known as the most dangerous philosopher in the West. At least one video said it, but he's quite a creature. He's quite a creature. He's pretty humorous. He talks crazy. He has a weird speech thingy, like, which makes him quite a unique personality. And the way he places his arguments with dark humor is just mind blowing. I just watched one of his interviews. I have heard his name for quite some time, but I did not like actually check him out. So I did. Amazing stuff. It was called titled "Why Are We Getting Stupid?" Which time or something like that. On that, he was like going all in from like exploitation of workers. Like he's into Hegel and Marx, and I don't know his philosophical orientation properly, but I know that he's a Hegelian. He talks a lot about Hegel, okay, and Marx. So we talked about that. To AI, philosophical implications of AI, how we're getting stupider because of AI, exploitation because of AI, and so on and so on. Amazing stuff. He also talked about ecological crisis. Hey, I think I probably have that notes, but you know what? I don't know if I understand all of it, because I have not been into the philosophy scene for quite some time, but I think I'm getting into it. Okay. Yeah, we're moving towards a post-humanist state. Post-humanist state. Post-human. Not humanist, but post-human state. Post-human, that means. Post-human, because everything is just getting dominated by artificial intelligence. Not at a very staggering pace, not at a very staggering speed, but surely we are delegating way too much of our task, of our decision making to our AI companions, which is like pretty concerning, especially coming from a chronic AI user. I was a chronic AI user for the last 1.5 year, I think. Then I realized that AI, especially some language models, was actually making me dumber because I was delegating a lot of my planning, a lot of my decision making to them. I was like, hey, I don't know how to study this, give me this. Okay, I don't know what to study in the next week, give me this. Okay, I don't know, I fell into a slump, I slept for 3 hours, how do I recover from that? Every advice, every decision Not every, but most of it was made by it. I used to ask it for advice and accept it to confirm my biases. Not good. As a human being, that's really bad. Okay? That's really bad. That's where we're really getting stupider. That was Zizek on AI. And a lot about predestination, productivity advice, ecological crisis, humor. Humor is important in philosophy, especially because look at it, look at the world, everything is crazy, life is crazy, universe is shitty. Humor can make things light. Humor's levity can make things better, at least to a 1%, right? To a certain degree, it does. So, humor. It's a philosophical imperative. That's my words. Not Zizek, but you should watch the interview. So, yeah, that's kind of thing. I'm also getting back to writing. I'll link my blog down in the description. I recently posted on, like being not around. So, I'll continue doing that. And I have some plans for the future. After boards, that's what I've been waiting for, like I remember like 2 years earlier, I started writing my blogs, started on Substack 2 years earlier, just before my blogs, sorry, boards, 10th boards. So it's like crazy nostalgia stuff right now. Future plans. On 12th March is my English exam. I gotta study for it at least a bit, even though English is quite okay. You can still do a lot good in that. But still, you gotta work for it, right? You gotta write the right words. And I gotta do some writing for that. And after that, more grinding, because JEE's second session is in April, second week. So I need to study for that. Really excited. I'm gonna apply all the things that I've yapped about today. So, yeah, this time I'll not study in a frenzy or in a completely haphazard manner. I'll follow a stream of consciousness, not conscious. I'll follow a stream of dedicated stream. Yeah, I'll study in a way that matters. That's the ideal, thingy to say. Let's see what happens, right? Only time will tell. Basically, I don't want to fuck up, so yeah. Yeah, I gotta do some studying, man. I gotta do some studying either way. It was really nice having you here. I don't know if you listened to this to full or not, but if you're listening to this here now, if you're listening to this, thanks, man. You are my kind of nerd. Oh yeah, yes. I hope you take care of yourself, okay? And keep on studying, keep on learning, keep on improving yourself. Not in a, like, not in a way that I did. I thought I was improving myself and I was like damaging myself when I was using AI, or, like focusing on the wrong things. Right? Don't do that. Don't be like me. Be better than me. Make better decisions. And talk to people. Talk to your friends. Yeah. By the way, my friend Jonah was like going all 180 on his sleep schedule. He was like studying all night, sleeping all day. Crazy guy, man. Crazy, crazy, crazy guy. I don't know. He sometimes gives me the heebie-jeebies, but I should try it as well sometimes. Try his schedule, see what's the gabagoo in that, right? Maybe I'll do it, maybe I won't. But after boards, after 12th March, I should say. That's not when my boards end. My board's last exam is on 25th, but as I've said, I'll study for just 5 days, so I'm good for it. Okay, I think that's about it. I have long hair again. I need to do something about it. I wish I could have. I wish I had the skill to cut my own hair, or at least my mother, but Ma doesn't like want to do that. Ma doesn't want. She has a lot of stuff to do. So, and I have poor eyesight. So if I remove my glasses, I won't be able to see anything for at least. I need to read stuff like in this distance. So, not gonna do. I cannot cut my own hair. But I wish I would. I was independent enough to do that. Maybe some one of you can give me a haircut. A good haircut, not just hey, you're done. Not like that. Okay, so I can always go to a salon, but yeah, I'm lazy. All right, see ya in the next one. Take care and stay frosty. Yo.